Has everyone heard the statement, you are what you eat? Well, it's not really that simple, but I'm going to break it down for you. My name is Andrew Cook, and through personal and professional studies, I've learned a few metabolic hacks to help you out. The metabolic rate can be affected by three big things. The biggest factor is the basal metabolic rate, followed by exercise activity thermogenesis, and also diet-induced thermogenesis. I'm going to break those down just a little bit more to help you understand the metabolic rate. The basal metabolic rate is the energy required for basic living functions. These are autonomic functions which are passive, like your heart beating, breathing regularly, and also growing or repairing cells in your body. A large contributor to basal metabolic rate is lean muscle mass because of its high energy requirement to use, but also to sustain. So the more lean muscle mass you have, the higher metabolism you'll sustain in your daily life. According to E4Health of the Australian Department of Health, published in 2023, that the basal metabolic rate accounts for 45 to 70% of your energy expended daily. But in layman's terms, it just means caloric burn for your day. The reason for this large range is due to the body composition. Sometimes people have more lean muscle mass and some do not. And also it's from activities that are done during the day or even days prior that will affect your cell replacement and possibly muscle growth, to name a few. Because of our energy is burned passively or autonomically, a factor can be influenced is physical activity. Exercise activity thermogenesis is the somatic function, which are voluntary movements and activities. These movements of your body include when you raise your arms to pet your dog or your cat, or even moving your mouth to speak like what I'm doing now, also to include standing up. A simple way people have tried to increase their exercise activity thermogenesis is by tracking and setting step goals for the day. For example, I have a Whoop band on my wrist that not only tracks my steps, but I primarily use it to track my heart rate and my body strain. The heart rate aspect of it is the basal metabolic rate part that I talked about, along with previous body strain, which is the exercise activity thermogenesis for the second part. For a person who trains moderately for 30 to 45 minutes in a day, a Better Health article stated that exercise activity thermogenesis contributes to 20% of our daily energy use. If you couple that with basal metabolic rate, we're at 65 to 90% of daily caloric burn. In order to fuel our movements and activity, you must eat and drink fluids, of course, right? To sustain your energy throughout the day, which brings me to diet-induced thermogenesis. Diet-induced thermogenesis is an autonomic function, which again, it is passive, and it just requires energy for you to break down food, to transport, and also to store it in your body. Simply eating and drinking burns energy. Who knew? Have you ever experienced that tired feeling when you're having a big meal on Thanksgiving? Because I know after 2 slices of cheesecake and 2 plates of food, I start to feel it. The slang for this is usually called itis or the food coma, but scientifically speaking, it's called postprandial somnolence. But I think I'll probably stick to the itis, a little bit easier. Diet-induced thermogenesis directly affects your basal metabolic rate, which also further increases your energy use for the day. Carbs and protein take about the same amount of energy to process in your body, while the fats take double the amount, which is why most people tend to get that itis from the high-fat comfort foods. Diet-induced thermogenesis accounts for about 5 to 10% of daily caloric burn, which brings the total to that perfect 100% that we want, just like the grades that I know we aspire for our assignments in this class. Because all three main metabolic factors can be influenced individually by your actions, managing it with knowledge is not only possible, but very achievable. By understanding the basal metabolic rate, exercise activity thermogenesis, and diet-induced thermogenesis, you have the ability to manage and even improve your metabolic rate through time. Even small adjustments matter. Thanks for listening, class.